Okay, Mr. Bruno Katumpa, we've come to the end of our program. What is your concluding remarks, especially on xenophobia on one side and the value of Ubuntu? What do you say?
My deepest concern goes toward the consciousness of fellow African when dealing with this issue of tension and conflict between ourselves. I think the contribution I can make today is to say that we need to have compassion about those one who are in a position of revendication, like we see what is coming out of Soweto, we see what is coming out of Alexandra and many of the South African townships. So our spirit of compassion is to go far in the history and see why our brother from the township are complaining. And we know from history that these are people and places where the oppression, the violence took place. So we have to reconcile with that reality before we make judgment and take a position. Because what he needs to prevail is that spirit of solidarity, of compassion between ourselves. So what we think we should expect from South African, because some of us, like those who are coming from DRC, from Rwanda, from a country like Libya, from a country like Nigeria, we feel that South Africans should have compassion toward us and toward the issue that we experience and the violence we experience back home, like in DRC or elsewhere. I'm saying that we should do this in both ways. So we have also to feel about them, and so that they can feel also about us. So let us not ignore this past. South Africans need to be inspired by us also, because as South African was an inspiration for us, let us play our part in trying to be inspirational toward South African in this time of difficulty, because we know the problem that South African experiencing is not new. Some other parts of Africa have experienced the same. We Congolese, we know it because we have gone through such a experience in different parts of Africa and our region. So let us try to be creative, inspiring, to find a way out on the ground, but on the ground of the elevation on the African way of approaching things. Let us be in solidarity with those who suffer in Soweto and Alexandra, because they have been stricken by poverty, they have been stricken by unemployment, they've been stricken by different kinds of violence. So what we think for them, they can also in the future think for us, because now it's time to fight for the people on the ground, not for the politicians, because we know that every part of Africa, politicians have tended to be corrupt. Not to all of them, but it is a temptation that is real, is a reality in most of the African countries. Name them Angola, DRC, Nigeria. Corruption is rampant. And this corruption is the source of the lack of social support, which brings people to extreme poverty, which is a kind of violence similar to what they experienced in apartheid time. What can we do together in solidarity with our brother, so that in future also they will be in solidarity with us when we need them. Let us not engage in the culture of blaming and accusations. Let us try to be inspirational to one another. I think